Ayer Park Department meeting Wednesday, February 17th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirements that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting, information related to remote participation, please contact Carly M. Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager at 978-772-8220, extension 100. I'm not going to go through the whole agenda, Jeff, because you pointed out some things that you wanted to discuss first. So, hang on, let me just pop open my screen. Hi, Sarah and Keith. And Jeff, you wanted to talk about these items in priority discussion regarding upcoming beach season and feasibility, nomination of new Ayer Shirley Youth Soccer representative, and input from the board regarding spring soccer. So.
Yeah, I'm just going to check with my screen. I'm having trouble. Right. Okay, yeah, so could you repeat those ones that I wanted to go over specifically?
Yep. Discussion regarding the upcoming beach season and its feasibility. Right. Nomination of new Ayer Shirley Youth Soccer rep, and input from the board regarding spring soccer.
Sure. So just to get started with the beach, I did have a chance to talk with Town Manager Pompian this week regarding trying to get together with Jason and myself and the Board of Health and him to go over potentials for getting a plan together. And we both agreed that it's still premature at this point to meet because we don't really have enough information to make a decision. But still going forward, we're going to want to do stuff. So I think it'd be helpful to get a discussion going among the commissioners of just what they think would be the best course of action for us to take this spring and this summer, and just any thoughts or desires about how important it is to open the beach and what concerns you have about opening the beach.
I think it's very important that we open the beach. The beach has to open this summer.
I agree.
As far as how we do it and what restrictions go, I think it's going to depend on what things look like come May, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest challenge, just to see what they have. And, you know, I'm not going to review every meeting, what went down last year, but just as a recap, we did present a plan to the Board of Health that was not accepted. So, you know, the strategy this year is to try to get them involved, in fact, insist that they're involved with that planning of that opening plan, and try to get them to have input in that as well. So I didn't know if commissioners might have had any thoughts about what they think that they would like to see. It sounds like the flavor so far is that opening is something that they obviously want, but you know, it's how hard we push for that is a good question.
Yeah, for me, Jeff, so I can just comment again, and I think it's really important, like Jason said, that we open it. There was a lot of negative thoughts last year, and disappointment that it didn't open, and surprised that it didn't open. I think the plan last year was really strong. I think we don't deviate too much from what we had laid out last year. I think it was a different time, last May than where we are now within COVID and the pandemic, and perhaps the Board of Health and other organizations that didn't support it have a different thought. Now maybe they're in a different place, I would hope. But I think we can build on the plan that we had from what they had said was the negative, but it has to open. I mean, there was so many people in the town and surrounding towns, use it and rely on it to get outdoors and to spend time with friends and family. So I think it can be done safely. I think your plan last year, kind of supported that. So yeah, I think it's important. And I think we should all push pretty hard for it to open.
Thanks, Jerry. Scott, do you have any thoughts?
Not much. I think the plan was great, but I'm wondering if maybe they want pictures of a layout, like live pictures down there to show them like where people would be sitting or staying, what part of the beach they use, knowing that they don't only stay on the beach side, they use the whole area. Because knowing from the restaurant side, they don't want to go to the site and look and view it. They'd rather you bring pictures or ideas to them and see what it's like from there. But other than that, I think it should be open.
That's a good
I don't
analogy.
see why they'd ever go.
That's a very good analogy, Scott. As someone who also came from the restaurant business, I recognize that is apt the way that's presented. So, yeah, and I think there was a lot of disconnect last season regarding what was believed to be usable space at the beach. So our strategy, Jason and I talking about going in was to try to get them to come down. But as you said, if they choose to want to have, through Zoom or through other sources, and we have to present pictures, I think we can do that again. We'll try to make sure that we put that together. And to that end, I think I'll start putting that together. I'll start laying out something. I'll talk to Heidi, and we can see what we can put together for that.
Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I think it is very important that we try to get it to open. I agree that the plan seemed to be really solid last year, and maybe if we start earlier and have more communication with them, they will kind of come around to see that side of things. People in the community were definitely not happy that we did not open, and I think it's clear that other surrounding towns, both pools and or ponds have opened and done so successfully. So I don't see why we would be any different.
One of the concerns that was reiterated to me by the town manager was that he thinks the Board of Health would be concerned with our staff not being able to handle the pressures of people coming in and not abiding by whatever social distancing or masking rules that we had in effect. They found that other businesses such as restaurants and supermarkets and things like that, who relied on younger employees and teenagers to handle that, didn't do well with that. I offered my opinion last year, and I reiterated that opinion this year, that I don't think that that's analogous to our situation. That our staff is very well trained, and though they may be younger than some staffs for other types of companies, our average age is between 17 and 23. So that age range, in a lot of people's minds, may not have the authority or feel they have the authority to be able to speak to a public that may or may not want to obey certain social distancing rules. I have all the confidence in the world in our staff, but of course, the authority that has to grant us permission to do this also has to believe that. So I think that what we need to show them is that we also have an alternative, which is to have either Heidi or myself or someone else always present, at least at the beginning, referring to the first 2 to 4 weeks. And I think we can do that. And we did that with our rollout of the resident, non-residents system that we put in place 5 years ago. We anticipated a lot of backlash from certain members of the public for that. And we were able to address that, and then our staff was able to take it from there. But I think we will, and the town manager offered quite a bit of, can I put it, support in this area, to the point that he would be in favor of hiring extra staff to do it. Again, I think that's an expense that we don't need to broach, but if that's what's required, I think that's something that we accede to.
I also think we're a year into this and people are used to the whole mask wearing and social distancing. And like you said, Jeff, Heidi, one of us, someone is always close by a phone call or a text to come down if needed.
Yeah, Sarah, that's a good point. We will be over a year into this, and in your daily lives, you've all experienced different places, supermarkets, wherever. How often do you see this occur where somebody just refuses to wear a mask and escalates beyond a point? It's rare. I'm not worried about it. And from what I understood, the question wasn't so much the staff not being able to handle it. I thought it was the agent fielding calls from concerned parents whose kids were employed by the supermarkets and everything. And if that's a concern too, well, then we can talk to the people we hire. And if they're minors, if they have concerns and their parents have concerns, we can hear them out. And we can find other people if they're concerned for their safety and their parents are concerned for their safety. We'll be able to address it.
Okay, so I'll keep the board up to date, and I assume everyone's good with the situation that the board agreed to several months ago to allow Jason and I to be the point people working on this with the town manager and the Board of Health. So we will keep you all informed with how that's coming along. And I'm anticipating we'll have some kind of meeting together either in March or early April at the latest.
Okay, thank you. Anything else with this?
No, that's been actually quite helpful.
Okay, so Heidi's returning as beachfront director?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
We don't have it written into a contract yet.
Oh, well.
Maybe your system.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves until that's ink to paper. All right, we have a new nomination for Ayer Shirley Youth Soccer Rep.
If I can jump in on that, just to make sure that all commissioners understand the process for this. In both the basketball and soccer mixed divisions that we do with Shirley, the Constitution calls for 3 representatives from Ayer and 3 representatives from Shirley to constitute the overall Ayer Shirley boards for both soccer and basketball. So Jeff Testa has just recently resigned from the soccer board, not due to any misgivings, just that he was done and his kids are played out. So Ayer now has 2 members, Mark Meadows and Sarah Gibbons. One of them needs to be or should be a commissioner, preferably. So the way the procedure is supposed to work is Sarah, or whoever the board designee to that is, should present a nomination to the board, and then the board would need to approve it. So I don't know if Sarah has the nomination ready or not yet, or if she's willing to listen to other potentials from other commissioners.
I'm open to listening to whatever.
Do you have someone in mind, Sarah?
I do not.
Sarah, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Nope, I don't have any. Jerry, I know you sent an email that you'd be interested in helping out. I just wasn't sure if you fully understood the age level of this.
I'd be open to having a discussion with you offline about it and just to fully understand it yet.
Yep.
But I am interested in getting more involved in
The younger kids is where I'm hoping you're gonna go.
yeah. In general, wherever it's needed, really.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, if there's a starting point where it's with the younger youth ages, that's fine with me. If it's more than that, I can devote more time to doing that. But overall, having a role in the soccer program for Ayer Shirley is something that I've always been interested in doing when I moved to the town. So anywhere you think that should start, I'd turn to you for that.
Okay.
guidance. Yep.
Jeff, do you have anyone that has interest for the older kids?
No, I don't have anyone in particular. I was
I
thinking.
thought you had a secret you were gonna like reveal to us tonight.
I don't have secrets. We know that. No. In fact, I was thinking that, the two commissioners that currently have, a lot of experience with the soccer program are, we're kind of fortunate with that. We have both Jerry and Jason. Scott, I don't even recall it. Are your kids involved with soccer at this point?
No, they're not.
So
My kids do not play soccer.
What's that?
My kids don't play soccer.
Yeah, that was your sport. You're not gonna let anyone take your thunder. I get it.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to like you said, Jerry, having a conversation. Let's work all this out. But I also wouldn't be opposed to sending an email to our currently registered Ayer Shirley families at that older level and see if there's any parent that has an interest to jump on board.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So maybe the best solution is for Sarah and Jerry, if you guys want to talk offline about it, and then decide, Jerry, the ball would be in your court, if you wanted it, and you certainly could. And then if you think that it's worth reaching out to someone else first, and then if they don't, maybe then you'd want to. Maybe that's something you want to do.
Are there any other coaches? Any of the coaches that seem to want to get more involved?
At the older level, Jason?
Yeah. Good.
Kind of tough to say right now because the fall we didn't have a full travel season.
And seen them,
So we're kind of in a funk, if you will, with very limited parents involved because we only ran that in-town program.
Yeah.
But easy enough to send out an email to everyone who, played last season and or, who registers for this season to just say, hey, we're looking for some help. Who's interested in jumping on? You might have a newer U10 family that is willing to jump at that.
Yeah, even at the least, you're sparking interest, and everybody's focus might be off soccer right now. And by sending that email, it'll get people thinking about it and coming out to want to help. I think it's a good idea.
I don't think people are thinking about anything. We've had our baseball and softball registration open for
Right.
over a month, and we've gotten 25% of the normal registrants by this time, even if.
Yeah.
Well, if I can suggest, what would be a good goal would be if Sarah and Jerry, if you guys can talk offline and then, come up with a plan, and if part of that plan is to reach out to parents, if we can come up with a nominee by the next meeting in March, and then Sarah can convey to the area soccer committee that we'll be putting forth a third member at that time. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds great.
Yep.
Excellent.
So it's a good segue to talk about the upcoming.
So I think you saw the emails from Jeff that we surveyed the older, U10 and above families about, would they play? And although I think the first question was about, would they play travel if we had it? And although people said yes, the last question was, would you feel most comfortable playing in town or in a travel league? and it was over 60 some odd % that wanted the in-town league. So it's looking like we're going to do the same as the fall and do our own in-town league.
What's the Neshoba, whatever they are, Youth Valley soccer?
Neshoba will be offering a league. We don't know the details yet, whether they'll be having a regular league where you have that parity after a few weeks, whether you'll be playing in pods and there'll be zero parity, or what the real dynamics will be.
The spring season is the competitive season too, right? Isn't that the one where they have playoffs and?
I believe so,
campaign?
yes. Yeah, because it's always like graduation time. Yeah.
Do you know what the other towns around us are doing?
Not all. The league has reached out to towns asking each town to decide what, if and what they want to do.
And the only other question I have about this is the league putting any sort of pressure to submit a team to the league?
No.
Or are they like, so we're not in danger of, if you don't come this year, don't come back?
No, they totally said it's COVID, you do what's best for your program in your town. So pulling up the survey, would you play in a travel program? Out of 67 people, 49 said yes, and 16 said maybe. But when asked which program you'd prefer, an in-town co-ed like the fall or a true travel league, 64% preferred staying in town again this season.
It's a pretty good response rate, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of times you only get like 10 respondents, and that's really nothing. So that's good. That's a good percentage.
And I agree as a parent, like my kids would probably play either way. But it would depend on the parameters of the league. If we're stuck in pods and you're getting killed each week, or you're killing the opposing team each week, it's not fun. It's then not competitive, and it's not worth it to the kids, if you will. Where the kids had a blast, everyone seemed to really enjoy the fall and playing with friends that they don't typically get to play against or with.
Yeah, it probably made it very similar to the basketball program, where you spend more time playing against people you know than against teams that you don't.
Yeah.
So that must add a lot of interesting.
What levels do we have in the fall? Did we fill out every level?
We did. Yep. Multiple teams at every level.
I think it would be beneficial to Sarah to report back to her board what the Parks Commission, individual commissioners thought of or preference would be for the program, whether it would be an in-house program or to try to push for a travel program. So I would request that commissioners take turns weighing in their thoughts on those two options.
Yeah, I'll go first. And to be honest with you, I'll defer to the board. I don't have to do any of this, right? I'm not putting any effort into this in terms of making the season work, doing any of these protocols, getting all this stuff. I won't be there. I won't be a decision maker in that process. And I don't think that we delegated Sarah to do this, and we have a board to make these decisions, and I'm comfortable with whatever they decide.
For me, so I'd always like to see, kind of a travel format for competition. But I get that it's unprecedented times, and with COVID, I think it has to fall on the parents to make that decision. And it sounds like from the survey that Sarah came back that a lot of people want to do the local town. I don't think that's a bad second option. Like Sarah had said, and I can contest to it too. The kids had a lot of fun last year. We were able to really get out and play and get them outside and run around, and even at the younger level, but all the way up through all the different teams. And it was still competitive. I do think that if you have the travel, there's more consistency on a competitive play. But again, if we can have an in-town league, of course, I support both, both of those.
We also discussed briefly about, if there's another surrounding town that does not participate and does their own in-town thing, and by April or mid-May, things are looking up in the COVID world, then maybe we reach out to a surrounding town and say, hey, you want to do a friendly game, and try to squeeze in a game or two that way. So you're kind of getting a little bit of a hybrid model there, if you will, but not the full force travel every weekend where parents were kind of a little hesitant on that level.
That's a great idea. You can gain people's comfort level around it, and as the season goes on, you can do some type of end of season jamboree, or with different towns that are comfortable with it. It's exactly that would be probably best case, right?
Yeah.
If we can do travel, sure. Yeah.
Scott, you got anything to add? Is he frozen?
He looks
He's
like
awful
he's
still.
He didn't move.
That's a talent right there.
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I wish I could do that.
I mean, maybe he'll jump back in and we can ask him. But otherwise, we should go ahead.
I was just going to say, so what is the kind of the next steps on this, Sarah? How do we find out the direction we're going? Are we kind of just waiting on, it's the parents' voice that we really will drive all this, but.
Right. So at this point, like we met tonight, most of our board to kind of weigh in our opinions. We had one member who's part of the military who was not here tonight that can kind of weigh in on his thoughts. And then we just, as a, you 10 and above board, need to let the league know which direction we're going, and then start planning from there. Whether we stay in town and you start planning your games, your refs, your COVID people that you need on site, or whether we go the route of the league itself. And then the next step from there would be then to start planning the younger program. So,
Sarah, what does the league want to do? What is the Shirley Youth Soccer Board want to?
Tonight it was leaning more towards more members had voted to stay in town, and it was a safe environment. Everyone seemed to have fun. There was, the games were somewhat competitive, not like your regular league, but it worked and it was safe. And so we felt like one more season of this is not the worst case scenario, right? The kids are getting out and they're playing, which is the most important thing. And then mid-season, if we can, we'll reach out to surrounding towns and try to get friendly games if we can.
It sounds like you got the plan.
Yeah.
I favor the in-town plan myself. One of the things I like most about it is with the uncertainty of COVID now, of what it will be in May, you can adjust things, and you can adjust them mid-season. A lot of the rules that are going to be put in place, especially initially for safety with either masks or ball touches or different things, a lot of that stuff can be modified if desirable, if it's possible, by June. So that's something that you can adjust to as a league internally if it's just in town, a lot easier than you can with a full 30-town membership of Neshoba Valley. So I personally favor it just for the adaptability of what you may want to do. And as Sarah said, you probably could even reach out to other towns if it gets to a point that you feel comfortable with mixing and matching. So that can be done if you want to.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier to ease restrictions than it is going to be if you try to, go back to the way it was and then have to start shutting things down. And to your point, so you don't know that you have the uncertainty of how the league's even going to look. So if you end up getting stuck in a group with, a stacked team, or you're the stacked team in the group, I don't know. It's one more year, you hope.
I was also in the same line of discussion. I was hoping that the board would also weigh in for Sarah's benefit on desires for the U4 to U8 levels, what you would like to see for this spring season. Just to recap for the fall, U4 was not played, it wasn't offered because it was considered too difficult to try to manage 2- and 3-year-olds for social distancing. So that was a foregone, but the U6 and U8, for those who participated in those levels, it seemed to go well. So I don't know if maybe it's best for Sarah to start to open that up, and maybe other commissioners could jump in with their thoughts.
Sure. So my hope in initial, planning stages at this point is to continue with that U6, U8. I think it worked. I think kids and families all understood the COVID guidelines and the social distancing, and everyone had a great 6 weeks. So I think that's easy to plan for again this spring. The U4, I'm kind of on the fence. I think it's a tough age, and I think I just don't know how to make that logistically work. So open to ideas, comments, whatever anybody has.
Jerry, these kids are your age.
Yeah. So there's been a few people in town and community that approached me on where I've heard the grapevine that want to try to have or asked if we were going to have U4. But I don't know how much participation we get anyway at that age. I think maybe the parents might feel the same way, that it's really tough for them to get out and really enjoy it at that age, given the different restrictions and safety we have to put in place. So I'm with Sarah. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a survey, or maybe we can get more feedback from the community if they'd participate, or if there'd be volunteers to help, or maybe there's other ways to make it safe and enjoyable and like productive, right? In a sense of getting them to have fun and getting them to learn some of the early skills of soccer. I mean, that's the goal. Can we do that with the different restrictions? But U6, U8 was great. It was a little like wonky in the beginning with school just starting and COVID, and nobody knew what's happening at school and soccer, but it all came together. And yeah, everybody had a really good time. I think the kids did a great job. They were starting to get an understanding of what it meant to socially distance and wear their masks at school. They did amazing. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be a little more difficult kind of policing that, and it wasn't. And all the coaches and everybody did a really good job teaching. I think those kids came away, even though it was kind of abbreviated season and all the restrictions of social distancing, they had fun, absolutely had fun, and they learned some of the early skills of soccer for sure. So I think doing that again this year, I think we should do it, definitely.
Scott, you kind of been in and out over here. Do you have any thoughts or anything you want?
For soccer? No, I have no idea about what goes on down there.
Love that honest answer.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
you got to know your limitations.
I don't want to throw something out there and then my kids don't play and I'm not there. So
Right. For U4, the biggest thing I think you need to do before you even decide if you have kids don't know if they want to play at that level. Now it's going to be up to the parents. It's going to be up to the adults. So you need to make sure that you have adults to be out there, because you're going to have the adults running the program. So if you don't have volunteers to sort of run it, and it's not just the one guy running around with the ball like in the past, you're going to have more participation from the parents to help keep the kids distance and everything. You almost have to have one parent per kid.
Yeah. It ends up that way, anyway, in the past. I remember that the little exposure I've had to it with my son, Luke, when he did it. But yeah, I agree. And I don't know, Sarah, if that's something we could kind of get feedback from the community on, or if it's something we just discuss internally and maybe it's too hard to do, but
I think we should start, discussing internally with, the coaches that we do have involved, and then kind of go from there. And yes, we could send a survey to people that have played in the past. I just don't know how we would reach families that have kids where we didn't have it in the fall. Some of those kids,
right.
We could try. Yes.
Yeah. Right. I see what you're saying.
It's always a hard age to grasp who would play and how to contact them without having that database already existing.
Yeah, it's true.
Another thing that we could think about, and something that I could probably get involved with as well, is I'd like to think that we're going to be able to reopen our camp series this summer. And if we weren't able to offer U4 in the spring, maybe that's something we could do just on its own in the summer. And there's a lot of benefits to that anyway, just because one of the problems with U4 is that the kids, 2 and 3-year-olds aren't quite as hardy to that early spring weather. And they're generally much more able to get at it later on. So that might be another thing that's worth considering and we're considering this with the basketball program too, is to possibly do something in the summer, whether it's on the weekends or, just try to make things work somehow. But I could anticipate doing something, either, a 4 or 5 week program like we do with basketball. We do a mini ball program with that age group. It's very popular. So that might be an alternative if U4 was not offered in the spring.
Good option.
Yeah, it sounds good.
So I would say from here, I guess I'll set up a meeting this week with our, younger soccer board, and then kind of report back in the next week or so as to where we're at.
Okay, that sounds good.
On a side note to that, and I think it's on Jeff's agenda here, we did get contacted by the police athletic league to kind of partner up with us for the U6 soccer, and kind of they want to be involved in helping with that program this season.
Yeah, that'll be another great thing for an internal conversation with the U4 U8 soccer group to discuss. And
Yep.
Sarah, you and I had a nice conversation about where we thought that might go, and I think that's going to be a very positive thing.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I lost my place a little bit. Somebody just came here and
Yeah,
the dogs were going a little
all
crazy.
the topics I wanted to go over, Jason, including the soccer ones, I think we were able to cover.
Okay, so then where do you want to go from here, Jeff? We got 21 minutes. Dealer's choice.
Well, I think that I'd like to jump to maybe the skating rink and just give a commission report on what's been going on there. The skating rink's actually had a really good showing so far this winter. It was an experiment for us to try down here for the first time after not opening it for a couple of years at the beach. This is clearly a better location for it, with the new building's ability to use water to help resurface it. That's been really beneficial. Today's ice was the best we've had all year. After that rainstorm, we put another coat of water on top of that, and it froze over really nice. So we've been getting a lot of skatable dates, and again, it's not perfect, but the size has been really good for young families. We had probably, I would say maybe a dozen families down today at one point or another, all young families. So it's been really good. So I'm looking forward to taking a good look at this in the spring to see how we may want to expand it, things we may want to do a little differently. But I just wanted to let the commission know that so far it's been, I think it's gone really well.
So thanks, Jeff. We had corresponded a couple weeks ago about possibly doing a night skate or night skating, nights of skate. Do you have were you able to find out any information on lights down there?
Yes. So pricing on lights, they're relatively cheap. I mean, you can get lights that actually work, that do something for like a couple $100. So it's not that bad. So it's really more of potential for how much light you want to put on there, and then how much you want to open that up. And then it's almost like you have to, unless you're going to do it every single night, you have to set up like a date to do it. We've talked about doing this in the past down the beach, and it just never worked out. Like we'd have a hot chocolate night and do this. I guess my biggest concern with doing it this year is that if you make an event and you advertise it, then you're probably going to go past the protocols for social distancing. So that's my only concern with doing that. I mean, we could just put it out there on a couple nights and just see what happens. And that might be worth doing. But again, it would probably cost about, I would estimate about $500 for us to get the lighting out that we need to do it. Jason did ask me to check with DPW. I didn't get an answer back on that, if they had any lighting we might be able to use. So that might still be an option.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you about this year. You know, if we had an event, it'd be tough. If we did it this year, like you said, it would have to be like, I don't know, Friday and Saturday nights or night skate nights. You know, the lights will be on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Whoever comes down, comes down. You know, something like that. But, you know, we'd have to get the lights in place and everything.
Well, if I can make that work, you know, we still probably have, you know, it's hard to say, it's already getting close to March, which is generally the time we start losing units. So who knows how many good dates we'll have left. Yeah. But if I can get that together, does anyone on the commission have any concerns about me trying to make that happen?
We can put it up to next year, Jeff.
Okay.
Because we also have to consider, okay, if we do open it up at night, now we have to have somebody down there, and you know that's, you know, your Friday nights and Saturday nights, right? Or ours, yours. So what, you know, that maybe it's something we put off. I don't know, Sarah, you're going to say something.
I have no life, so that's fine.
It may be, Jeff, worth it to reach out to Devon's Recreation and kind of see how they're lighting theirs up. We've gone a few times at night. And the kids love it, skating under the lights. And there's really been no other families there but us and maybe one other. So it might be worth chatting with them on how they've done that.
Oh, we have a good relationship with Devon's Recreation, so that's certainly worth the call. I didn't realize they looked at midnight. That's good.
Yeah, it's open till 10 every night.
Oh, that's great to know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll go check that out tomorrow.
Yeah, their rink is, it's huge. It's beautiful.
Okay. Anything else with the rink?
No. If we can jump.
Okay. Let's talk about, what about the storybook walk?
So as I've been reporting, Sarah put together our first storybook walk poster boards, and we were able to get them erected and up in time for the 150th anniversary for the town. So they are up. I think they look good. It starts at the concession stand and then wraps itself around and finishes at the monument. So it's a good first go with this. We are still looking at, you know, potentials for how we want to go with this. I just had a conversation with Jose Banches down at J&S Printing. He's going to give us a quote on what it would cost to get, say, just for an example, green eggs and ham. And if we were to get green eggs and ham and just had, and you do it to get a little cheaper, 2 pages. So picture like 2 pages, you know, left and right on one 18 by 24 sign. That's the standard sign you see on these that we have down there, and print it. And then, you know, you'd go through that and get him a price on what that would cost. And he was also going to give us some ideas for the mounting, things like that. So the library is very interested in partnering with us on this. And so that's a great potential with that too. If for whatever reason, the issues with Jose doing it is too expensive, you know, just what we set up already with Sarah had just, she cut out the books, the pages of the books. You can get big size books. You have to buy 2 because you got the front and back, right? So you do that, and then you just laminate it and adhese it to a board and then post it up there. So, I mean, failing something, you know, more expensive, that still can be done in that technique. And the library would want to do that too. Some other suggestions we had of just doing it like the system we have are just, you know, you could take this story down after a month and maybe put up a series of jokes, like, you know, just somebody do a joke. Somebody got a good joke, kid's joke. Clean joke.
Well, right. So you would put the joke on the front, you know, why does a golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? And on the back side of the sign, it would say, in case he gets a hole in one. So the answer is like right there as they go.
It's a little dirty.
Oh,
Just a little bit dirty. But still.
But I think you could also open that up to the community and let families submit jokes or riddles or rhymes or whatever, so that the community feels a part of this.
Yep. You could do one every month, like Black History Month. You could do like quotes, inspirational quotes from Black leaders, right? Something like that. It's endless, right?
Right. So my thought was, for now to change it seasonally or holidays or, school vacations or however it comes up. Typically they're up for a week or two and then, areas will take them down. There'll be a little bit of downtime and then the next one will go up. So.
So the vision I have with this is that, after this story's been up, a month or however long we want to have it up for, then we can transition to, jokes, maybe from the community, or famous quotes, or different ideas that the commission might have for this, or the community might have with this, and use that for, the first series of things that we put up there. I was actually very happy with the frameworks that we put up. We had the wire frames that you see for a lot of these yard signs and things, and I thought they'd just get pummeled by the famous Crony Park winds. But with buckets and solid material in the buckets, they seem to be holding really well. So I think that system will work, at least temporarily, for doing stuff like that. So I think that that would be a good thing for us to do. And then we could even cut another storybook until we figure out how we really want to do this. Now, one other thing I can report on is that Sarah is in contact with an Eagle Scout. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to meet because of COVID. But she's got a lead on somebody who may want to do this. I also have a couple of Girl Scouts who are looking for a silver award, who I would like to offer them an opportunity if the Eagle Scout doesn't want to do it. But failing those two wanting to do it, we could probably put together our own, because I have some ideas of how I think we could do it and make our own pretty well. So overall, I'm really excited about where this could go and where we're at with it right now. And big shout out to Sarah for getting it started.
Thanks, Sarah. Great job. Can we do a Jack Handy book?
My kids are too old. What's that?
The quotes from Jack Handy from Saturday Night Live in the 90s.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
Inspirational thoughts.
Yes. Oh boy.
All right. Yeah, moving on.
I just saw that on TV today. Al Franken.
I think the only thing we have left really is to talk about any finance stuff.
Can I ask one other family-friendly question, if I dare, real quick, before you jump into that?
Please.
And I know it's COVID and you're all going to think I'm a little bit crazy, as we know that I probably am. Obviously, 2 years ago, we had our egg hunt. Last year, we could not. So we turned it into a virtual drive around neighborhoods, hang up your eggs, whatever. Jeff's already like, oh God.
No. I'm just thinking, I didn't even realize that Easter was so close.
Yeah, today's Ash Wednesday. So I'm wondering if I can kind of work with Jeff and whoever and trying to get permission from the town to try to do a socially distanced timed egg hunt, if you will. So we find out what the limit is on a gathering at a time. And even if we had to do 4 separate times so that 25 kids, had to sign up for a time slot, one child, one parent comes down, the kids can do their egg hunt and then they have to leave. And then we hide 100 more eggs for the next 25 kids to come through, or, something similar to even see if the town would entertain such an idea.
Would you like me to check in on that with town management?
I mean, just a thought. I mean, I would love to see something try to happen, but that's just my personal.
I support that, Sarah. Absolutely. And I'd be a part of helping you make that happen. I think the kids need something like that. I think that'd be great for the town.
Well,
yeah, I agree. Cool.
What would be great, Jerry, if you wanted to jump in with stuffing the eggs, because last time when Sarah and her mean sister-in-law teamed up on me and gave me all sorts of garbage.
Listen, Jeff, I have OCD, but you went over the top on OCD stuffing eggs.
I like my things organized.
I'll send you I'll send
Every color egg should have its own thing in it.
I'll send
Blue
you,
eggs have this candy. Yellow eggs have this toy. Very
I'll
If you don't organize, you're never going to know when you're done.
No, Jason, we'll talk later. You would agree with us. No worries. I'll send an email then to Jerry and Jeff and just kind of explain my thinking, and then we can go from there. Okay.
Yeah, well, shoot for the moon, and if we gotta dial it back, we'll do what we can. We'll put something out together, but why don't we just do as much as we possibly can?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have anything to talk about finance?
Well, I think we can pass on this stuff for now. It's just I'm going to be meeting with going to the next part of the budget process as we talked last time. The next meeting is in 2 weeks, so I'll be participating in that. If there's any questions toward our budget, I don't expect there will be. I think we're in pretty good shape, and we have a lot of support from all of the different entities, the finance committee, the selectmen. So we should be in pretty good shape with that. But this next meeting is it's a public forum, so if the public has any questions, you just never know. So I'll be on hand for that, and I'll forward the dates to the commission when that's getting a little closer. But I did want to just open up for discussion if you think we have time to do it, and maybe we don't. With the park signs, I don't have the information yet from the town manager and the town treasurer about converting that account to something we can do with parks. But one discussion that we will want to have at some point is what we want to do with Field 6 or any other field with Tim Nolan as a memorial. So that's something that we had said we were going to discuss at some point. Time or not.
We voted last meeting to name Field 6 for Tim, and it was just contingent on checking with the town manager to make sure that we could do that.
Oh, okay. So, and the town manager has been asked that question. So, all right. So, I just wanted to make sure that was something that the commission already agreed on. So, I didn't have that in my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Right. So the only thing we would need to do, the next step with that is obviously what do we want to put up for signage? I don't want to put like a crappy sign that's going to fall off in a year. But obviously we're not going to spend $1 million for a piece of granite out there. But we'll have to figure out how we want to put that up on a backstop or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good then.
Oh.
I'm good with that.
So do we have any incidents or anything to talk about?
Zero. It's been clean. Had,
Okay.
Keeping the path nice and clean, so no dangers, nobody's fallen, nothing, injuries, no anything. So it's been good.
How are you doing that? You rolling the tractor over it?
Snow blowing. And then
You're walking the whole path with a snowblower?
3 times.
Yeah, that's really hard work. Thanks, Jeff, for keeping all that safe and clear. To you and your team, it's hard work.
Yeah, it's great. Well, Hannah's the one person we have left on the staff helping out, and she's terrific. So it's been great.
Does the tractor not fit on the path? It's too wide?
Well, it wouldn't work as a plow because it just pushed the snow. It wouldn't push it off to the side.
Yeah, I get it. Can we get a snow, not this year, but for next year in the future, does that tractor have any sort of snow blower attachment that we could?
They're very expensive. They're like about $8,000.
Okay. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So it's not that bad. In fact, it goes a lot faster than you might think. And even putting down salt and sand, one of us will drive something and the other person will just be scooping sand out of the back. So it's not that bad.
Okay. Well, thank you for keeping that up.
It's been good. A lot of use.
Does anybody else have anything to talk about?
I do not. Jason, I think we lost your audio. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I've been pressing.
You're back.
I've been pressing spacebar to temporarily unmute, and then when I clicked into the calendar, I didn't work. All right, so yep. So we're shooting for the 14th, week of the 15th, I suppose, right?
Sure.
When's St. Patrick's Day? That's gonna be. Is it always the 17th?
Yeah.
Okay. So for all the boiled dinner eaters out there, we maybe want to skip that day.
So I'll look on 14 and 15. Sarah, what's your restrictions at this point? Is it still Thursdays?
We will be done on Thursdays. Our last Thursday is the 11th.
Okay, so you could do a meeting on Thursday theoretically on that week?
Sure.
18th.
Live at the PAC meeting. I think that's a really good community build-up way for what's a crazy.
I think she's listening in on another meeting too.
I don't know. I said I can probably do the 18th. It might just be from a
Multitasking.
It might just be from a hockey rink, but yes.
Okay, all right. Any other restrictions,
All right, I mean-
commissioners?
No.
No.
Excellent.
Well, okay. We'll look for that date and time to come out, and thank everybody
Excellent.
for your time tonight. I think we can adjourn the meeting. Unless anybody wants to hang around for 2 more minutes.
Need a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Out of the newsletter and.
Need a second.
Second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, good night, everyone.